Right now at 6, a Carthage city administrator retires. We'll have the details. Plus, Joplin's National Guard Armory gets a new name to honor a fallen Guard member. And we're heading to Webb City for the Shop Hop. And we're going to tell you about a Joplin business helping you decorate your Easter eggs in a unique way. You're watching the KOAM News at 6, and it starts right now. And thank you for joining us. I'm Chris Warner. A city administrator for the city of Carthage has retired. According to a Facebook post by the city yesterday, Tom Short announced his retirement yesterday, effective yesterday. The post says Short has more than 40 years of experience and joined the city of Carthage in 1997, making him the longest serving city administrator in the city's history. People from all corners of Missouri and beyond came to Joplin to honor a fallen National Guard member. Sergeant Robert Wayne Crow Jr. died while serving in Afghanistan in 2010. The National Guard continues to honor him by renaming the state's National Guard Joplin Armory after Sergeant Crow. They say they hope this can help the community have a better insight as to the sacrifices service members risk.
Anytime we can talk about the sacrifices that not just Sergeant Crow, but his family, the rest of the soldiers within the military, soldiers, airmen, and Marines, all the sacrifices that they make. I think that it's important that we honor that.
Tonight at 10, we'll hear more from those who knew Sergeant Crow and more about his impact. The sun came out, it got warm today, and hopefully that's going to be a trend. Nick Kelly joining us.
We're going to do our best to wrap it up for tomorrow, Chris, but in the meantime, we're looking good for 7th and Ranch Line. We'll call that a mostly sunny sky. Temperatures well into the 60s as we get this evening underway. That being said, even though all is calm now after we had some rain late last night and very early this morning before sunrise, we have a couple features I'm watching. We have an area high pressure just to the west of the region, but if you look off to the west, that is the beginnings of our next storm system, and that is going to start rolling on in. It's by either late tomorrow afternoon or early tomorrow evening. In the short term, though, we're looking good. Once again, lower to middle 60s. We're dry for this evening with a light north breeze of 5 to 10. But as the high pressure skedaddles, it's going to bring a southerly wind into play overnight. That will only allow temperatures to fall through the 60s, 50s, mainly into the lower to middle 40s for your Sunday morning, Chris. We'll break down how long rain chances coming our way. We'll stick around coming up here in a bit.
All right, Nick, thank you. Webb City is having its annual Spring Shop Hop. It allows local vendors to come out and sell their goods. The event hosts several food trucks, local boutiques, and other items such as trinkets, soaps, and a number of other things. Businesses are able to collaborate, and it gives vendors and upstart businesses opportunities to get their name out there.
So they're super beneficial. For me personally, I've just been here for 4 months, and I've seen tons of new faces that I haven't seen before that didn't know that I was here, and lots of the other shops as well.
Now today marked the second and last day of the event. Well, Easter is just around the corner, so that calls for decorations. The Color Me Rad Company is having its first ever workshop. Kids can come in and paint eggs in a black light room, which you see there, painting eggs that will be able to glow in the dark. Now, each kid will be able to decorate a total of 6 eggs each, and will have the opportunity, of course, to take them home.
They love the blacklight room. They love the glowing paints. As soon as they walk in there, the first thing we hear is, wow! And then to see it on the eggs actually like glowing, it really pops, and they just love the way that comes out.
You can find Color Me Rad at 3120 South Main Street in Joplin. Ukraine's deputy defense minister says his forces have regained control of the whole Kiev region after invading Russian forces retreated from some key towns near the capital. Now, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelinsky is warning that Russian troops pulling out of the Kiev area are creating a catastrophic situation for civilians. CBS News correspondent Michael George reports from New York.
Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelinsky says Russian forces retreating from the capital region Kiev are leaving explosive mines around homes. He says Vladimir Putin's troops are also abandoning equipment and even the bodies of those killed in Russia's war on Ukraine. Ukraine and its Western allies believe Russia may be regrouping those forces and building troop strength in the nation's east. Ukrainian soldiers like Sergei defending Kiev dismiss Russia's claim it's dramatically reduced operations near the capital.
No, I don't believe.
He told CBS News maybe it's just a retreat in preparation of a stronger attack. The International Committee of the Red Cross planned to try again Saturday to get into Mariupol to evacuate residents trapped there with little food, water, or services. On Friday, city authorities said Russians blocked access for the Red Cross. Most of the southern port city's buildings are destroyed or severely damaged, and bodies fill the streets. Ukrainian refugees gathered in Budapest, Hungary Saturday to call the world's attention to the children wounded and killed in the war.
My heart is crying. Such small kids are dying in Ukraine.
The U.S. has assessed that Russian forces have committed war crimes during the invasion, now in its second month. Michael George, CBS News.
Now, after 5 weeks of war, more than 4 million people have fled Ukraine in the largest European migrant and humanitarian crisis since World War II. And we take this time now to honor one of our many four-state heroes. Staff Sergeant James Shelton served in the Army during World War II and participated in the Battle of the Bulge. He also earned a Purple Heart. His hometown, Crichton, Missouri. We're proud to recognize Staff Sergeant James Shelton, tonight's four-state hero. Still ahead, how limiting your salt consumption can boost your quality of life if you're dealing with heart failure. Plus, a recall is issued on some Suave antiperspirants. We'll have what you need to know about products impacted.
44 Kansas.
Strict limits on salt intake can boost quality of life for people dealing with heart failure. A new study published in the journal The Lancet finds a slower progression of the disease among those who controlled salt intake combined with nutritional counseling over a year's time. However, the research did not show a significant difference in hospitalizations, deaths, or emergency room visits of people who did or did not control sodium. More than 800 people in 6 countries with chronic heart failure were followed who were either getting regular care or put on a low-sodium diet. The study's lead author says more research is needed to determine if continued limits on salt intake can improve outcomes for heart failure. A nationwide recall for a pair of Suave 24-hour antiperspirants. They are the Suave 24-hour Protection Aerosol Antiperspirant Powder and the Suave 24-hour Protection Aerosol Antiperspirant Fresh. According to the Food and Drug Administration, slight levels of benzene were found in some samples. Officials say the carcinogen came from the propellant that causes the product to spray out of the can. FDA says exposure to benzene could lead to health problems, including blood cancer and leukemia. These Suave antiperspirants products were discontinued late last year due to economic issues, but they were available in retail stores and online. No other Unilever or Suave items are affected by this recall. There's more information on the FDA's website. The benefit of COVID-19 vaccination for children during the Omicron wave, and the FDA authorizes a second booster for some groups. Naomi Ruckham has some of the week's top health stories.
More Americans are eligible to receive another COVID-19 vaccine booster shot. The FDA authorized a second booster dose for people age 50 and older, as well as for those as young as 12 years old who are immunocompromised. A joint study at Boston Children's Hospital and the CDC finds COVID vaccinations for children 5 to 11 cut Omicron hospitalizations by 68%. Overall, researchers found from July 2021 to February 2022, 88% of patients hospitalized with COVID-19 were unvaccinated, and 25% in that group had critical illness requiring life-supporting interventions. And more than a third of high school students reported they experienced poor mental health during the pandemic. According to CDC data, more than half reported they experienced emotional abuse by a parent or other adult in the home. Those are some of the week's top health stories. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
Later, we'll tell you about some very special dirt that's going up for auction.
Plus, we'll stay mild tomorrow to wrap up the weekend, but rain chances knocking on the door again. Forecast next. After we had some rain late last night, early this morning, thankfully that did not stop us from seeing temperatures turn quite mild once again today. Certainly it was a bit cold to start this weekend out with morning lows on our Friday, upper 20s and the lower 30s, but thankfully we had a good rebound into the lower to middle 60s. We didn't drop off very much last night, thankfully, upper 40s this morning and right back into the mid 60s this afternoon. And again, as Doug advertised, we did see another quick wave pass on through, so we had a beautiful Friday overall. Then Friday night, Saturday morning, clouds quickly increased. We had a complex of rain pass on through, but as quickly as it came in, it quickly pushed out before we hit sunrise this morning. Not much to speak of in terms of accumulating rainfall for the southern half of the viewing area, maybe on the average up to 1/10 of an inch of rain. At least right now, we're looking dry with nothing on the radar network, but we are seeing more rain chances lining up in the days to come as we get the first full week of April on the way starting tomorrow. In the short term, though, looking okay for 7th of range line. We're at 63, north breeze at 9, and the humidity not too bad, sitting at 35%. We have everybody mainly in the lower to middle 60s, maybe a spot like Monette as cool as 61, a spot like Fredonia as warm as 67, but everybody's not looking too bad despite a north breeze in place at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. But you can see this counter make that clockwise swirl at the surface centered over central Kansas. That's an area of high pressure. And as it starts to scoot along during the night to come, that is going to allow temperatures to drop back only into the lower 40s as we get a southeasterly breeze back in play, and that will certainly help us turn mild again for tomorrow. Looking upstairs, though, we've got our next cold front waiting in the wings coming out of the western U.S. That's being driven by this upper level wave working across western parts of Montana right now. That's the next wave on the way in, but it does not come in for tonight. That area high pressure scoots off toward the east, and you can see how as a result we get a more southeasterly breeze back in play. Maybe some increasing clouds by sunrise, but again, we're dry for the night with lows back in the lower to middle 40s. Turning mostly cloudy during the afternoon tomorrow and ahead of the approaching cold front. Maybe a couple isolated showers or storms by tomorrow afternoon, but temperatures, they're still looking pretty good. 44 in the morning, 65 by noon, highs topping out right around 71. But then as the front starts to push on through, we'll see the definite uptick in our rain and thunderstorm chances Sunday night and going into Monday. Periods of showers at times on Monday, but as we see those thunderstorm chances pick back up, I'm not seeing anything severe, but we could get some accumulating rain just within the next 2 to 3 days alone. Anywhere from 1/4 of an inch up to an inch of rain. But that system's going to be a little slow to clear on out, so we'll have to hold on to additional thunderstorm chances on Tuesday and Wednesday morning. But 69 on Tuesday, 62 for Wednesday. A bit of a cool down, a bit chilly for the end of next week, but at least we're dry Thursday into next weekend. Maybe some frosty mornings Friday and Saturday, crisp, but we'll deal with that when the time comes. We'll just enjoy at least mild temperatures again tomorrow.
I'll take these mild temperatures as long as we can get them, because I know here before too much longer, they're going to settle in on a more permanent basis. So,
yeah, they will.
Nick, thank you so much. Turning to sports, Danny Terzer with us. Missouri Southern softball aiming to string together a few conference wins.
The Lions swept a pair of games on Friday. They have 2 more against Fort Hays State today. Plus, Pitt State hosts a doubleheader against Nebraska Kearney. Those highlights and more next. Pitt State baseball had a 4-game win streak snapped on Friday in their series opener against Central Oklahoma, but the Gorillas haven't dropped many MIAA games this season, boasting a 14-4 conference record. Pitt State back on the field today, aiming to even out the series with the Broncos. Pitt with a 1-run lead here, but Noah Olson singles through the gap. Jaden Parsons, coming around from second, scores the tying run. That makes it 1-1. Jordan Maxson breaks the tie in the 6th. He crushes this ball to left. Solo shot. Gorillas back on top. On the mound for PSU, Peyton Ingalls, still going in the 7th here. He strikes out 5 today. Then Maxson back up in the 8th. He does it again. Solo home run, his 2nd of the day. Pitt State battles past Central Oklahoma 3-2. And head coach Bob Fornelli hits a huge milestone, earning his 1,000th career win. Missouri Southern took Game 1 from Fort Hays State 4-0 on Friday. Today, Southern posts another shutout. They win 10-0 after 7 innings. Henry Kuziak and Tommy Stevenson homer. Case Tucker drives in 3, and Logan Van Way, what an outing. He pitches all 7 innings and strikes out 14 batters. Pitt State softball has hit a bit of a rough patch. The Gorillas have a chance to bounce back today against Nebraska Kearney. In game 1 of a doubleheader, Lopers get on the board first. Haley Shaneman knocks it through. Carly Leash scores. Next inning, 2 on, 2 outs for Sydney Thomason. She gets all of this one over the fence, but it will be recorded as a double. Thomason fails to touch third base, so she's out, and the other 2 base runners score. UNK leads 3-0. Gorillas get something going in the third. Bases loaded. Paxton Hayes sends it out to center. Corey Stonestreet scores. Pitt still down by 2, though. Later, they have the bases loaded again, but this time, the Lopers turn a double play to end the inning. Nebraska Kearney goes on to take game 1, 5-2. The Gorillas' struggles continue in game 2. They fall 15-8. Paxton Hayes hits a 3-run home run, and Keila Griffith blasts a 2-run shot. Missouri Southern is coming off a big pair of wins on Friday. The Lions swept Nebraska Kearney, handing the Lopers their first 2 conference losses. Today, Southern hosts Hayes for 2 more conference games. Game 1 here, first inning, Ashlyn Williams gets a base hit to left. Adriana Young and Yasmin Vargas score. Later, Josie Topai takes off for second. The throw is off, so Vargas scores. Topai going for home. She's called safe. Lions up 6-0. Adding to the lead, Leighton Withers hits it by the third baseman. Vargas comes home, her 3rd run of the day, and Southern rolls by Fort Hays 8-0. Southern completes the sweep, taking game 2 3-1. Withers goes 2 for 3 with an RBI double. Bailey Lacey gets the win in the circle. She strikes out 9 batters. The Lions have now won 4 in a row, improving to an 8-4 record in the conference.
It is nice to see all of the baseball, softball action because it is a nice reminder that it is springtime. And just watching these folks play, I mean, sometimes it's just like in basketball and football season over the past year. It's just been incredible from our local athletes.
Yeah, there's been a few days out there where I've been like really freezing. So I'm glad we're hopefully turning the tide here and it gets more pleasant to go out there and shoot on a nice day like today.
Yeah, I hope it stays that way for you, Danny. Thank you. Well, coming up, we're going to tell you about some unique dust for sale.
It's a seller's market. So that
We've got dirt for sale, but this is not just any dirt. Particles of lunar dust collected by Neil Armstrong decades ago are going up for auction this month. The dust sample brought back to Earth in 1969 during the Apollo 11 mission is estimated by auction house Bonhams to be worth between $800,000 and up to $1.2 million. The lunar dust has a complicated backstory. NASA lost the bag of dust after it was loaned to a museum. Then the museum director was convicted of fraud and theft. The dust was part of seized property and auctioned off to Illinois resident Nancy Lee Carlson in 2015. When she sent the bag to NASA to help identify its origin, the agency refused to return it after its authenticity was confirmed. A lawsuit followed. She won and got the bag back. The bag was sold separately in auction in 2017. Now Carlson is selling 5 metal pieces that have lunar dust on top. That auction is in mid-April. So if you didn't have enough dust laying around your home, you can get yourself some moon dust and sprinkle it onto your picture frames and everything like that.
I still find it hard to believe that dust could be valuable, but if it's really from Apollo 11.
I get the idea that it is valuable. It's moon dust. It is genuinely from the Apollo mission, but how do you convince people that that's what that is when you display your bag of dust?
I mean, a lot of people wanted it. There was a tough fight for that.
I'm gonna scrape some dust off of out here and spray paint it gray and call it lunar dust. Nick Kelly, forecast. Got some showers on the way.
Yeah, but not until late tomorrow afternoon, certainly tomorrow night. We're dry for tonight, lows in the 40s, and back to 71 tomorrow with increasing clouds.
Danny Terzer, Final Check in Sports.
Good day for Missouri Southern Athletics. Baseball gets the win. Softball gets a doubleheader sweep.
All right, guys, thank you so much. That's our time for now. We'll see you back here at 9 and 10, and thanks for making us part of your night.
Salon service is provided by